to think that Jesus is God. When people talk about the fact that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, he never changes. And it's something people really talk about. It's something they praise God over. It's something they worship God with, attesting to the fact that he's that same God. But when I hear that statement, he's that same God, I relate it with Jesus Christ. You see, that God of the Old Testament, Adonai, that God, that talked to Abraham, that made a covenant with Moses, that gave the commandment, that God that parted the Red Sea, that God that delivered the children of Israel from Egypt, and brought them into the promised land. That same God of miracles, of signs, of wonders, that same God that talked to the prophets, that same God, that same God is Jesus Christ. And he hasn't changed. He's the same yesterday and today. And it's a very mind-blowing fact. And it's a very simple but powerful truth that many trip over. And that's even the reason why Jesus was king. He claimed to be that same God. Think about it. A man, he claimed to be Adonai, that God that of creation. The God who made you is Jesus. And many people don't even know this fact, that Jesus is the creator of heaven and earth, that Jesus is their maker, that Jesus is the God of creation, and that Jesus will be the God we see when we go to heaven, seated on the throne. It pleased the Father that in him, Jesus, should dwell all the fullness of divinity. It's amazing. It's a very mind-blowing truth. And I think it's something that people really should get to know more about, because if they knew that Jesus is truly God, not just in a philosophical or mental assent to that, but in their personal experience, that this God who seems so far away walked the earth in human form, walked the earth, he performed miracles, proved himself to be God, died, went to hell, defeated the devil, resurrected, and ascended to heaven. That God is Jesus. If people knew it in their personal life, it will make all the difference in their walk with God. They'll get to see that Christianity is beyond a religion. God didn't come all the way to earth just to start another religion. Religion is usually man's pursuit of God. It's usually man's attempt to please God. But in Jesus Christ, it's more than religion. It's a relationship between a man and his God. It's a changing, a rebirth of the human spirit, of the human condition, to look like, act like, function like God himself. Is God at work in a human person? Is Jesus. Someone said, one day the world will realize that God cared so much about Jesus. All he really cared about is Jesus. And truly, I believe that the story of the world, the story of creation, is all about one man. It all points to Jesus Christ. And you must find yourself in Jesus. I thought I should share this, I hope this helps someone out there. Remember to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Follow if you're watching on Facebook or TikTok. I've been the Beloved, and of course, I'll see you on the next one.